if you want to look at your future, come tour coal country in Appalachia. The same way people thought we would mine coal here forever, and that's kind of gone away, is going to be the same concept of, are we going to be farming in California where we don't have water?
Hello and welcome to The Switch. I'm Elena Casas, and today we're talking about farming. The food we eat is responsible for 31% of human carbon emissions, according to the UN. That includes methane from livestock, food waste, and fertilizers derived from fossil fuel. In 2019, 7.2 billion tons of greenhouse gases were emitted within the farm gate. Proponents of high-tech indoor farming believe they can change that. In Appalachia, thousands of miles from America's traditional breadbasket in California, startup AppHarvest has just opened the world's largest automated indoor farm for salad greens. Well, I'm joined now by Jonathan Webb, CEO of AppHarvest. Jonathan, hi, thanks for joining me. So, what is unsustainable about our current food system?
Humans are going to need to produce more food to support civilization than we have in the last 10,000 years combined. And currently today, we use 80% of fresh water globally for agriculture. And so you just look at the math on the back of an envelope and you go, well, how is this going to stack up? And what are we handing our kids and our grandkids? So we have to figure out how we're going to use technology and grow more food with less resources and do it in the middle of climate disruption.
More than 70% of America's salad greens and about 30% of the world's tomatoes are currently grown in central California, where farmland is being scorched by its third year of extreme drought. The Central Valley had just 38% of average snow runoff from the Rocky Mountains this spring.
The American farmer has already been disrupted by climate disruption. And, you look in the U.S. right now, we have historic drought on the Mississippi River, Lake Mead at an all-time low, Lake Powell at an all-time low, the Colorado River at an all-time low, water reservoirs throughout California at all-time lows. These are the major water pipelines that feed farming in America. I'm sitting in Kentucky where we predominantly mined coal, and this was coal country in the U.S. We don't mine coal very much anymore. And I've tried to say to farmers in California, especially Salinas Valley, California, if you want to look at your future, come tour coal country in Appalachia. The same way people thought we would mine coal here forever, and that's kind of gone away, is going to be the same concept of, are we going to be farming in California where we don't have water?
The company calculates its indoor farm uses 90% less water than conventional farming. The 35 million lettuces growing on this 15-acre site do need significant amounts of electricity to power lights and harvesting machines.
We pull energy off the grid from East Kentucky Power, our utility, working with them to build renewables to supply us. But ultimately, our power is coming off the grid, so it's hard for us to exactly figure out how much of that is renewable versus how much is fossil fuel.
The US market for salad greens is estimated to be worth $5.9 billion a year. Two-thirds of that is now imported, but this could change that.
We believe that you could certainly put a strategy together in the U.S. and build enough facilities to grow all fruits and vegetables for current consumption in the U.S.
The company even claims the more locally food is grown, the better it will taste.
In the U.S., unfortunately, we have very low-quality produce that's sitting 2 weeks, in some cases, on a semi-truck that's coming from Mexico to the East Coast. And the quality is horrendous. We're able to optimize and pick seeds, not for transportation, because we can get to most of the markets in the U.S. in a day drive, but we're optimizing for taste and flavor and nutrient density.
As world leaders gather at the first global climate summit to be held in Africa, the World Food Programme says 345 million people do not have enough to eat. Much of that is down to shortages caused by flooding and drought, making it urgent to find new ways to grow food for the future.
We're not talking about it in our public schools. We're not talking about it at our universities. We're not talking about it in Washington, D.C. And until we elevate the conversation, we're never going to solve the problem. But if we simply have the discussions on a regular basis, I'm confident that we'll get there. But hopefully we'll start to really create some urgency around the conversation. The same way we talk about renewable energy around the world, the same way we talk about carbon, we need to be talking about food, because we cannot solve these environmental issues without food being squarely at the center of the conversation.